Hello, welcome to the Stubborn Tortoise podcast. I'm Donna Pazdera. So, today's episode, or this week's episode, is featuring Ben Garcia, who is, this is so weird, it's such a small world. It features a guy who grew up in the Rio Grande Valley, which, of course, those of you who've been playing along for a while know that I lived there for about 13 years. And yeah, and now he's in San Antonio. How strange is that? Oh my God, my cat. Anyway, Ben is an incredibly interesting person. Has served in the military, is now a law enforcement officer for the San Antonio Police Department, and um, not least, has done a couple of really long, like 200 plus mile fundraisers for various causes. And he will talk about that in the interview. Yeah, actually, and he's a little atypical because normally I do not do these sorts of interviews, but a friend of mine, Kenny Gardner, had suggested interviewing Ben because normally I will do people who are masters runners or maybe dealing with COVID or dealt with COVID, or that's basically it. Yeah. So this is this is veering a little off topic, but I think it's okay. I mean, he's just an incredibly interesting person. And I really enjoyed talking to him. This one goes fairly long. It went like about an hour and 10 minutes, and but it's worth every moment of it. And so without further ado, let me introduce you to Ben Garcia. Let's do this. All right. So I am here with, do you want to be called Ben or Benjamin?
Ben is fine.
Ben Garcia. All right. Tell me how old you are.
I am 45.
45. Okay. So you're still a kid. Uh, are you from San Antonio?
Originally from South Texas,
What part?
down in the Rio Grande Valley in San Juan.
San
San Juan,
Juan. Okay. I
yes.
lived in Edinburgh for about 13 years. So
Outstanding.
yeah, so I know the valley pretty well. Actually, that's where Daniel's from, is the valley. And
Oh, okay.
yeah. I have a pretty strong connection there. And yeah, I used to teach at UT Pan American.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm an alumni.
Oh, really? What did you study?
Criminal justice.
Nice. And when did you graduate?
In 2002.
Okay, it was before I got there. All right. Anyway, not that I would have known you because I or known, yeah, you because I taught communications. I was the
Okay.
advisor for the student magazine and that sort of stuff. But anyway, well,
Nice.
that's cool. That's cool. So we do have a connection here. All paths lead to the valley.
Right?
Something. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, I like living up here, obviously, but yeah, I do have a very soft spot in my heart for the valley because I think it's, I mean, I'm originally from Ohio and I lived in Florida, but it's just like the valley was sort of where I started my second career. So yeah, pretty interesting. So um so uh gosh, I have so many questions for you. But I'm curious about your running journey. So when did you start running?
Well, uh, it all happened back in when
I feel like we need
uh
mood music or
I
something.
know, right? No, it was um I've always been involved in running, just didn't entirely blossom until till I moved here to San Antonio.
And when was and
And
what year was that?
this was in 2007, just right when I got out of the military.
Ah,
And,
okay. And
and
what branch of
so
the military were you in?
I was in the army.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for your service. Did you serve overseas or?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. Yeah, I did two deployments to Iraq, and
wow.
and I was stationed in Germany the whole time, so it was
Oh,
good. It was fun.
That's good. That's good. That's good. But yeah, again, thank you. Cause I know, yeah, it's so weird because it's like I started graduate school in 2001 and oh no, here comes my cat. But yeah, I mean, I just always felt like those particular wars were I felt like they were fought by people who were, always signing up and it wasn't like a draft or something like that. So it was just all these people that really, really wanted to serve. And and I appreciate that. So anyway,
My pleasure.
I talk too much. So I got a C in conduct in first grade. It says talk.
Uh,
So there you
you
go.
and me,
There you go.
you and me both. Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Are you an Aquarius?
No, Gemini.
Gemini. All right. All right. Well, that's cool. No, I just yeah. Anyway, oh my goodness, I'm yapping away. Okay, so you graduated in '07 and you had served in the military. And so were you a runner as a kid or did you kind of
Uh,
evolve into this
yeah.
later?
No, yeah. See, my brothers and my father uh were boxers, and so they had a boxing club there in San Juan.
Mhm.
And so I kind of grew up in that family of boxers and fighters and stuff. So
That's cool.
working out, going to a gym, and doing that type of exercise was just something that I grew up knowing and really enjoying.
Mhm.
Although because I was the runt of the family, I really didn't get involved in boxing. It was more of my older brothers that were like champions and stuff like that. So
Wow.
but as far as me, I just love the sport, love the going as a little kid, being right there in the ring side, being a corner man as or the corner kid,
Yeah.
uh watching the fights, and just being and then going to the gym where all these boxers were training and putting in the work, and then seeing it unfold when they went onto the ring and fought and won.
Wow. So how many older brothers do you have?
I have two older brothers.
Okay. And
We
how old
are
are they?
yeah, they're old. No, they're
Hey, now be careful.
no. Well, because they're my brothers. They are 12 and 10 years older than I am. So
Okay, so the 12, okay, so yeah, but I'm still older. So anyway, that's okay. It's okay. I'll forgive you.
thank you.
And so did they go on to become professional boxers or they were just good amateurs or
They were just really good amateurs. They were
yeah,
really good amateurs, and then the our life kind of just veered away from boxing and becoming a boxing family to becoming an actual church family, and
really?
becoming and then becoming where my brother, who was the more rougher boxer, became a drummer in the church band with my
Oh,
sister, who
God.
was the pianist, and then me being always in the limelight of my older siblings. I was like, oh man, now I want to play drums.
Well, that's
So
cool. So
so
which church was this?
this was a church back in Alamo, Texas.
Uh-huh.
It was called Templo Emmanuel, and it was a Pentecostal church.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And how old is your sister?
She's 10 years older. My
Okay.
brother and my
Oh,
sister are twins.
that's what I was gonna say. Are there a set of twins in this?
Yes, yes.
Very cool. Very cool. And so tell me a little bit about your parents. I know we're gonna get into all this, but I'm
All
curious
right.
now that you're bringing up all the siblings. Is that all the
Yeah.
siblings, two older brothers and then a sister?
Yes.
Okay. And then you.
And then
Um,
me.
yeah. So tell me about your parents. Were they athletic?
No, No, nowhere near it. No, in fact, well, I mean, they were just migrant workers from a
Are they
very,
from
very
Mexico or where are they from?
no, actually they're from Texas. But
Okay,
both of my grandparents on both sides were both from Texas.
nice.
It it was the great grandparents that were from Mexico that
Ah, okay.
yeah, but everybody else was originally from South Texas and that
Yeah,
area. And then of course my parents migrant workers, just always working out in the fields.
oh
So
yeah,
if the hard work was instilled, it was because of that. And then my father, who was a um, went into the to the Air Force during Vietnam, and
really? Oh
yeah,
wow.
and then my mom was the lunch lady. So I got the hookup when when I was in school.
And which school was this?
I went to I graduated from PSJA, Far San Juan Alamo
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Independent
yeah.
School District. Yeah, so
And
that's where I went.
are there two of those or is there just one? I can't remember.
Now there's three. Yeah,
It's
actually
been a
there's
few
four.
years.
Yeah, no, actually there's four, if I remember correctly. You know, the Alamo has one, San Juan has one, Far now has uh two, I think. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, so there's like
Wow. So
yeah.
your mom got you the hookup though at lunch.
Oh yeah, forget about it. All the lunch ladies. Hi, mijo, you know, here's
No,
an
me, I
extra.
have some more. My
Yeah.
mom was like that too. Actually, yeah, my mom was sort of like yeah, she was a lunch lady and she was also like the Mothers Club president. And yeah, and what's weird about my mom, and I'm sorry, I'm going to sit here and talk about myself for just one quick second because I think, it's an interesting story. I didn't know any of this about my mother until like a few months before she died. And my mom died in 97. And but she was talking to this hospice worker and she was like, yes, when I was growing up, my dad would take me and my brother over to the sanatorium, which is like a place where they kept tuberculosis patients back in the 50s. And my grandmother was there, and that's how my mom knew her mom. So I mean, she didn't have any like role models, and by the time she really knew her mom, she was 19 years old and newly married. And so I always felt like that was an amazing, I don't know, story, or just spoke to her integrity, just in that she had this natural ability to just be a mom, even though she wasn't, she had no role models particularly or anything like that. And yeah, so anyway, just another, yeah, I'll try not to talk about myself too much, but yeah, I mean, I do, I kind of understand some of that. So yeah, yeah, it's very cool when your mom is involved in school and, and as the other ladies, helping out and stuff like that. So that's
Oh,
cool.
definitely.
Yeah. So you graduated from PSJA, and
Yes.
so what did you do after that? Did you go into the military or?
No, actually, I started working in the refineries. I told my dad that I wanted to travel. I told my mom, man, I don't want to go to school. And of course, you know, my sister being the role model of going to school, you know,
Mhm.
getting a degree and all that good stuff. I told them, that's not for me. I barely graduated, and I want to travel. And
Mhm.
so I started working in these refinery company that allowed me to travel all over the United States.
Oh,
And yeah, so as an 18-year-old, I mean, I was getting really decent money and traveling and flying. It was the first time I had ever taken an airplane
that's very
anywhere,
normal for the Valley. Yes.
right? So
I know some
uh,
people who have never. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
So what's
leaving
the coolest place you've traveled to?
with that company, it
Mhm.
was they sent me to Hawaii
Oh,
for a
wow.
week to go work over there. I know, I was like, what? Oh,
Oh, never
forget about it.
been. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so
How
that
long were you
was
there?
I was there for a week, and
Not bad.
they you know, they paid everything for me to just work over there. And of course, you know, it was working 12 hours, and then you know, it was consecutive, so every
Okay.
day 12 hours. um
Hey, but you're
but
in Hawaii.
oh yeah, forget about it. We tried to take you know, the crew that I was with, you know, we tried to take it much advantage. So sleeping like maybe 4 hours, and then hey, let's go and drive around. Let's go get lost and go
Oh,
visit Pearl
sweet.
Harbor and all sorts of good stuff. Ah, yeah,
Well, that's
it was
awesome.
amazing. It was amazing. And so, you know, that company allowed me to see a lot of places. I got to, you know, places that I had never had only seen on TV, like you said, you know, being in from the valley, you only see the in the Macy's parade, you know, you see all the
I
big
get it.
skyscrapers and stuff. So I was able to be there in Times Square because
Oh my God, that's so cool.
of this job, and then seeing Niagara Falls because of
I've never
this
been.
job.
So
Yeah,
see,
so
that's so cool. Wow.
yeah, it was a great opportunity. I did it for I had told my boss when I got there. I told him, I said, hey, I'll give you two solid years, and I want to use that money to go to college. And he
Nice.
was like, all right, man, I'll put you to work. And so and that he did. I mean, I was gone most you know, I would come back for maybe about a week or two, and then I was gone. Of course, my mom, she was like, "Ay, mijo, you know, let me wash your clothes here. Let me get there." I was like, "Mom, I'm throwing this stuff away. I'm buying new stuff." You
Oh
know,
my God.
it's just work clothes, you know. So
Yeah.
uh,
Mm.
but yeah, no, it was awesome. And then after that, I ended up going to college, and man, I thank God. I always say that because of this job, I was able to pay almost two of the well, actually 3 years of my
Tuition.
tuition there, going to university.
That is the way
And
to do it.
yeah, so and then eventually, you know, I was like, all right, I need cash. And that's when I started taking some ROTC classes there at the University of I went to Pan Am, the
Mhm.
University of Texas Pan American, which is now known as UTRGV.
Yeah,
Boo.
XYZ.
Yeah, whatever. It's always gonna be the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah, exactly. I'm not
Yeah,
a big, between us, well, and the world who's listening,
of
yeah, I'm not a big
course.
fan of UTRGV because I just felt like it was very much an arranged marriage and
Right?
was not a very good pairing. Yeah, I just, well, as somebody who had taught at UTPA for pretty much up until like the last 2 years before it became UTRGV, it's just a different climate altogether. Yeah, and yeah, I loved UTPA and yeah, so but where I'm at now, I teach at A&M San Antonio now, and it's very similar kind of vibes. I feel pretty good.
Nice. Yeah.
And so you studied criminology,
Yes. Yeah.
and why
That's
did you
where
study that?
well, see, ever since when I was a little boy, I mean, it was just something that just drew me towards being in law enforcement.
Okay.
And it was my oldest brother who told me, "Hey, man, you know, yeah, you want to be a cop. All right, fine, that's cool, but you know, get a degree, man, and get yourself some school, get educated, and then pursue that career." So I said, you know what, yeah, let's see what it's all about. And I started studying about it. I really enjoyed the classes. I was very you know, I met a lot of cool instructors, great students that were there. You know, some of my one of my closest friend who is one of my friends there at school. You know, we both went to the same classes. You know, he graduated a couple year before I did, and then I graduated. But yeah, no, it was just something that I just it drew me from the very beginning. So
That's cool.
um, so but then when I started taking these ROTC classes, you know, that also kind of uh reminded me of, man, I remember being, a little boy and being out there and wearing camouflage and putting on combat boots and running around and doing all sorts of good stuff. And it just was like, oh man, I really want to do this too, And so, and this is before, and 9/11 hadn't happened yet. This was in
Oh, wow. That's
19
interesting.
yeah, this was in 1999 when I made the commitment of signing a contract and saying, I'm gonna go ahead and pursue this career as in the military.
Mhm.
And so I ended up going into the National Guard, and then once I was in the National Guard, I was actually here in San Antonio with the it was at the time it was called the 149th MP Company. It was a military police company
Okay.
here in San Antonio. It was the only one here in Texas, so I was pretty happy about that.
What
I
year was
had
this?
this was in 99 and
Okay.
2000.
Okay.
And so and I was just enjoying, being a guardsman, and then going to school, and then of course 9/11 blew up, and we're like, oh shoot, man, what's gonna happen? And of course, I was like, hey, all right, yeah, I guess
Let's
guess
go get
something's,
them.
yeah, let's go do something. I guess we're gonna
Yeah.
do it. So ended up graduating back in 2002, and um by 2003, I was already in Iraq,
Wow.
um, and in my first deployment. So it
What
was,
part of Iraq were you in?
I was in downtown Baghdad. So
Wow. What was that
yes.
like?
Oh man, forget about it. It was. I always told my mom. I said, Mom, don't worry about it. It looks like Reynosa here. You know.
I can believe that.
I said, all
Oh my
these
God.
all these Iraqis,
And
they all
I'm
look.
sure your mom was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, no, forget about it. She was like, "What?" No, I said, "Yeah, they're all brown. They all have big mustaches. They all look Hispanic. I don't know. It's like I'm back in
That's,
Reynosa,
yeah,
and
that's kind
so
of funny.
minus the tanks rolling around, but same
Yeah.
gunfire everywhere and whatnot. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
being there, I was deployed with the First Armored Division, and I was a maintenance officer. So when
What
I
does that
when I
mean?
grad when I graduated from the university, I ended up commissioning as a officer. So I was a I was a second lieutenant. Sorry, second lieutenant in the Army. And when I deployed, my job was taking care of these soldiers who were all from fixing your everyday computer to fixing radar equipment to fixing
Okay.
tanks to
Like the
fixing
technical sort of people.
yeah, these guys were all about, if a grunt can break it, they will fix it, basically. so so these guys were awesome. They worked not around the clock. We did everything from convoy missions to at the same time as they were fixing, they were also engaging and doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing out there, which was supporting the gunfighters. And that was our main
Cool.
task. So it was very interesting. We like I said,
That was very interesting. That's sort of a mild way of putting it.
without getting into too much into it, um, but having that as coming right out of college, and that being my real big boy job, basically.
Yeah.
It was an eye-opening experience. I had these people that depended on me, and at the same time, I depended on them to help me so I can help them. And
Mhm.
we uh, it was just something that I jailed really really quickly into. And when we were there for approximately, well, I was there for a year, because I had gotten there before, after these guys were already there. So these guys were already in country for about approximately, shoot, they were there for about 14 months. And
Mhm.
so they had been tried and tested for a while. They were tired.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so but then we came back to Germany, and it was, we're there in Germany. Look, man, I really um Colonel McFarlane, who was our
Oh,
overall
uh-huh.
colonel, he I think now he's a general of some sort. Yeah, he's got like
That
three.
name sounds almost familiar to
I
me.
know, right? He ended up taking care of us. He was like, "Hey, 4-day weekend, because I
I
say so."
like that guy.
Basically, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, forget about it. He was all about taking care of all of us. So,
That's
we,
important.
my me and my good friend, we ended up just becoming roommates and becoming really good friends. He was from the valley also, so that, yeah, I know,
That's
forget about it.
awesome.
Yeah, that's a whole other story, man. That's a cool story that I'll share some other time. But
Okay.
he ended up becoming one of my good really good friends, and we ended up just hanging out the whole time we were there. And then we deployed again, and this time we thought that we are going to go to back to Baghdad, but we did not, and we ended up going to Talafar,
Where is
which is a
that?
prominent providence towards the north part of Iraq. Um, it was a section that we were going to be transitioning with another uh, brigade that was there. We ended up they ended up leaving at the same time. Ramadi was going crazy, and so they gave us all orders to convoy down to Ramadi. We ended up going to Ramadi and taking care of business over there for the next. We were there for about a good another 14, 15 months. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a
Was it, I mean, I'm sure that was probably a little different from Baghdad then, right?
it was yeah, it would get a little western out there, to say the least,
I haven't heard of that city, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, I only know a handful of, cities in Iraq, but yeah, so
Yeah, it was one of those hot spots that was a key focal point in trying to win over the area.
yeah,
And so
hearts and minds.
yes.
I
All
know that
about it.
phrase, yeah.
Oh yes. And so once we were there, did what we had to do. At that point, I was no longer involved with the maintenance. I was more involved with now doing more of the convoys. So these guys and gals that were moving and shipping and supplying and doing all sorts of good stuff all in and around Ramadi, that they had to go through me to send them out. And so I kind of had my hands in all of that at that point, working at night, and being there as a night battle captain, because by then I was already a captain, and the uh, my my job there had completely changed. So um, dealing with now more of the figureheads of dealing
Mm.
with more of the folks that were out in sector and telling us, hey, this is what we need. All right, jotting it down, putting it on a big uh, dry erase board, saying, okay, this is where things need to go. So it was very, very interesting
Sounds a little
having.
different than the other time.
Oh yeah, forget about it. Yeah, the other time it was easy money. All I had to do is just make sure that I
Survive.
didn't. Yeah, I just had to live,
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah. So,
So,
but then
wow.
once I left, I had told my one of my senior Commander Sarah, I told them, I said, hey, this is not me anymore.
Enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go home. I don't want to play no more, basically. And
Well,
so
that's long enough. Yeah.
yeah, and so he's like, hey man, so what do you plan on doing? I said, well, I'm gonna go back to my first love, which is law enforcement.
Hmm.
And he was like, all right, you're gonna do this? I said, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do this. He's like, all right, man.
Cool.
So so going moving forward, coming over here to I didn't come to San Antonio directly, kind of went home, got married.
Ah,
Yeah, so got
congrats.
married, ended up thank you. Ended up going and my wife was like, well, I'm not I don't want to live here in the valley either,
Is she from the
because
valley?
yes, yes.
That's why. No, just
Yeah,
kidding.
no, forget about it, right? So let's move
Get the
somewhere
heck
else.
out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
we
get
ended up going to coming here to San Antonio, and I tell most people, we came up here with on a wing and a prayer because neither of us had jobs. And so
And what
yeah,
year was
so
this?
this was in
Oh,
'07.
seven. That's right. I knew you said
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And then um I started just um kind of uh I'll say that when we got here, I was kind of wanting to pursue this career in law enforcement, right? So
Of
I
course.
ended up uh thinking, oh well, I'll just go take the test and get hired and start my career, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, that was not the case. I
Oh,
was like,
really? What
yeah,
happened?
I ended up failing the exam. I went
Oh,
in there way
no.
too cocky. Yeah, I went in there way too cocky, and I was like, what? It's a civil service exam. What? How hard can it be? And so I ended up I ended up bombing the test.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, I ended up bombing the test, and which kind of put me in this mood of, oh man,
Do I
maybe
really
this
want to do
wasn't,
this?
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe this is not where I need to go. And so I started drinking. I started just kind of really being depressed about my of what was going on. I was like, man, here I am. I'm supposed to provide. I'm supposed to, try to do better. And at the same time, I'm not doing nothing here. And so I started seeing myself back in this one spot that I was back in 2001. I mean, I'm sorry, in 2000 in 2000, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
In 2000, I had suffered a some really horrible motorcycle accident.
Oh,
And
yeah. You were mentioning this. Oof.
and I had gotten into this motorcycle accident, severed Achilles tendon, scratches, road
Ugh.
rash, stitches, broken bones.
Was this in the valley?
Yes,
Like
yes.
281 or 83 or what?
It was actually right there on uh, Alamo. Well, it's now called Cesar Chavez,
Yeah.
and Business 83,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right where the
Okay.
pulga is.
Oh, yeah. God. How valley is that? No.
Oh yeah, forget about it. And
So how did
yeah,
so did you hit something or did you just wipe out or what?
no, yeah, I ended up hitting the this concrete median,
Oh,
and I was barely gonna hit the highway, so I had already gunned it. And so I might have been going about 60 miles an hour at least, and I just hit this thing head on. I didn't see it. It just there was construction, and
there's
so
always
oh
construction.
yeah, forget about it. It's like 35 here, doggone. And so I ended up hitting this median, and I wiped out. And by the time I knew it, a really good friend of mine that was working at the hospital at the time, he was the one that told me. He says, um, "Man, Ben, it looks like your Achilles tendon is gone." I was like, "What?" I was like,
Oh,
is
yeah.
that bad?"
Is
I
that
was
bad?
like, is that
Do I
bad?
need that? Yeah.
I know. And he's like, well, yeah, you kind of do, man. And
Oh,
so I ended up, through my mom's prayers and through, motivating myself to get back into it because I was supposed to pursue this career in the military. And so, I kind of fell into depression at first, and then, drinking and doing all sorts of bad stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing. And
And
then,
you weren't able to like walk, right?
no, forget about it.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
in a wheelchair. I had my hand in a cast.
Oh my
So,
God. How old were you at this point?
oh man, I was like maybe 24.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
maybe
Yeah. That's,
23,
I mean,
24.
it doesn't really matter how old you are, but yeah, that just, that's
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time I knew it, I had spiraled far into it. And then once once this one doctor had told me, he says, "Ah, man, yeah, you better think of another career."
Oh
And so that,
no.
yeah, so big fat tears started coming out. My mom's like, "Nah, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna do that and more." And
Oh,
so
I like your mom.
yeah, yeah, forget about it. And so she tells me, this is what's gonna have to change. You're gonna have to change your whole way of thinking. And so, ended up bouncing out of there. So
Thank
when
goodness.
fast forward all the way, 2007, I had failed this test. I was like, getting, as they say in Spanish, all agüitao, getting all depressed. And
Mhm.
and so, but I started bringing myself back to, when I was in a wheelchair. I was like, man, this is the same thing. I'm in a wheelchair. This doesn't define me. This isn't who I am. This is not where I belong. I don't belong sitting down. I need to pop up and do something.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that. I started running again. Getting into it. Ended up becoming uh, a jailer there at the with the sheriff's department here at Bear
Mhm.
County. So I ended up becoming a sheriff, a deputy in the jail, and I ended up getting a dog. And
Wow.
me and my little dog, we would take off.
What kind of
And
dog?
he's a little mutt. He's just he's part Jack Russell and
Oh, I
uh,
love
oh
those.
yeah, forget about it.
What's
And
his
right now
name?
his name is Totopo, which translates to tortilla chip
Oh
because
yeah. Okay.
when
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah.
when
Oh.
we got him, he smelled like tortilla chips. We are like, why does this guy smell like
Well, there
pork
you
chips?
go.
Yeah, it was like Totopo. Hey, there you go. So
That's
so
so cute.
I ended up running with this guy, and he, him and I, we would just run and run. And I mean, it was times where he would run 8 miles with me.
Wow.
And yeah,
Wow.
a
A
little
little
dog,
Jack
just
Russell.
yeah, just putzing around, always pulling me, of course, taking little doggy
Oh,
breaks here and there. And and then taking off again. And I always tell everybody, he was the one that trained me how to run. Hey, you want to go fast, go fast. You want to go slow, go slow.
wow.
You want to stop, stop. Kind of deal. You got to use the bathroom. You got to use the bathroom, basically. So
Yeah. No,
that
that's
was
great.
that was how I trained,
Wow.
when him and I would go run. Well, then, here comes another test, to take. And even though I was already, involved in law enforcement per se, with the jail,
Yeah.
I just saw myself out in the streets wanting to
Doing
do more.
more. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I took the test, and here I am now, 12 years into working with San Antonio Police Department.
So you are,
And
so you're a patrol officer or what are you?
yes, yes, I'm currently in the
That's why you work the
downtown.
weird hours.
Yes, yes. I actually work downtown.
Okay.
I'm a bike patrol officer,
Oh,
so
sweet.
I work with a bicycle. And
I have a
uh,
friend who's a bike patrol officer. His name is Anthony Ramos. Do you know him?
yeah,
Ah, I knew it. Yeah, I teach an indoor cycling class over at the Tri Point YMCA. And yeah, he and his wife take my class.
Ah,
I
nice.
know.
Nice.
I
That's
know. That's
cool.
so funny. Next time. Well, I'll see his wife. Well, I just changed my time for the class to 6:15 a.m. on Wednesdays. But yeah, Ellie comes and takes my class, so I'll have to mention this to her. But
Yeah.
that's so cool. So yeah, and I don't live too far. I mean, I live in Highland Park, if you know where that is,
Um,
off of 10 and 281.
yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. It's like where do I live? I live by it like McCreeless, if that makes any sense. Not too far from the Riverwalk, but
Mm, I hardly venture out that
Southside
way.
Lions Park.
Ah, okay. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
live
I know
about a mile
exactly.
from there. So yeah,
Okay.
that's usually where I can be found running a lot of time.
Ah, nice.
I
Yeah,
know,
that's a
yeah. I like it. Yeah. I mean, I bought a house here a little like 3.5 years ago, and Donna's first house. And
nice.
yeah, I don't plan to sell it. I love it. And yeah, and I love this area. So yeah, I mean, I'm very protective of Highland Park because I know a lot of people want to give it the side eye, because it's kind of working class and all that. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I've got the best neighbors, and yeah, no, I love it here. Anyway, sorry.
Nice. Wow, shoot. As long as
So that's so
everybody's watching
cool.
out for each other, yeah,
What's that?
definitely. I said, as long as everybody's watching out for each other, yeah, definitely.
Yes. As a matter of fact, just as another weird little aside, my next door
Yeah.
neighbor and I, we kind of share a like a feral cat colony or community cats, if you will. And
Okay.
so we've been getting them fixed, or like I learned how to trap them and all that sort of thing. And earlier this or late last week, I trapped 2 kittens. I couldn't get anybody else to go in the traps. And one of which is I call Piglet, who's probably about 3 months old. And actually, Daniel, the kid you just saw, his parents want to adopt Piglet because Piglet is super cute and just adorable and very sweet.
Oh,
But Piglet and the other one that I captured, oh, Buttercup, that's what we're calling her. She's a little calico. They both had these upper respiratory things, and I took them over to Animal Care Services, and they're like, "Well, you're gonna have to come over here for 5 days to, have them sit in the nebulizer, which I guess opens up their lungs or whatever for 15 minutes." And I'm like, "Okay, I can do that." But my next door neighbor, she keeps them in a office in her house because I don't really have the space. And so that's a really good neighbor. I mean, she's,
yeah.
giving them food, a litter box. She plays with them, the
Oh,
whole thing. So yeah, it's a great thing to have neighbors like that. So,
yeah, definitely.
I know. Anyway, sorry. Here I am. So anyways, you're a bike officer with SAPD. That's very cool, working downtown.
Yes.
Um, so tell me about this running thing. I know that sounds terrible, but so as if the biking wasn't enough,
Right.
you run. So how often do you run?
So I try to run at least between 5 and 4 times a week. And usually my runs will vary in different times of the day. Be
I'm
working
sure.
at night. Yeah, working at night kind of doesn't
Yeah.
give me that start my day. Usually the day ends when people are starting theirs.
Oh yeah.
So
Ugh.
so that's usually when I'm out there, putzing around, running, or it'll my run will be right in the middle of the afternoon when I wake up.
Mhm.
So I'll be out there. My mom says, just you and the lizards are out there in the sun, man. What are you doing?
Whereabouts do you run?
Now I live in Helotes, so
Oh wow. Okay, so you're way up there. Okay.
this is
Nice trails.
yeah. So I go out here and I play around in the on Bandera into Helotes, and then
Hmm.
just go and run around in the neighborhoods there of Helotes. And
Well, you
so
got some
yeah.
greenway up there too, I think, right?
Well, there's the shoot. The OP stable is
Yes,
down the
yes.
road. Yeah,
Oh my God, there's some really cool places there. Yeah. And then
yeah,
like if you want to go into trail, you can go like on those little side things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't done that yet, but I've seen them and I'm like, I need to do that someday. But
Oh yeah,
anyway,
and
that's super cool. So tell me about this run you did, and I don't even know how long ago this was, but where you ran from here to the valley. Um, and this was like a fundraiser, or what was this?
so this wasn't the first time I had done a really big 200 plus mile run. The first time that I had done one was back in 2018, which was Capital to Coast, which
Oh
was
yeah.
from
Uh-huh.
Austin to Corpus
Corpus?
Christi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's normally ran as a relay, and so without getting too much into it, I kind of was like, hey, I want to do this by myself. And of
Oh
course I
my
didn't
God,
do this
that's
by
crazy.
myself, but
And how
I
many
had
miles is this?
that one was 223 miles. And so I had my crew, I had my
Good.
brother, I had my wife, I had some other friends, and they just kind of all chipped in and just fed me, made sure
Kept
that
your
I was
spirits up.
yeah,
Yeah.
kept me up, kept me going, and as I putzed around all the way down
And
there.
how long did that take you?
Three almost 3 days, about
And so
3 days.
did you sleep at all? I know people
Yeah,
always ask this
I
question.
know, right? No, it's okay. I
Okay.
did sleep. The most that I slept was maybe about 4 hours.
And did you sleep like in a car or hotel or?
My so I like the comforts of being comfortable. I don't like to just throw myself on the side of the road and nah,
I'm
forget
with
about
you.
it. Yeah, no, and
I'm a princess.
oh yeah, and as much flack as I'm gonna get for saying this, there was a reason why I was an officer, why I was a why I was a lieutenant and a captain in the military, because I didn't want to sleep on the floor. There's no reason for that. So I had an RV.
Oh,
I had
okay.
an RV that my brother was pulling, and so anytime that I needed to take a shower, that I needed to bed down on a bed, and rest. I dove into the RV, and that's where
You
that was
got some rest. Yeah.
my mobile headquarters kind of deal was. So
That's the way to do it, man.
yeah, so I ended up learning a lot from that run, and of course that run I also did it with the help of another good friend of mine. Uh, we ended up uh, raising money for the, let me see if I can say this correctly, the Methodist Children's Cancer Center Hospital
Oh,
of
cool.
here in San Antonio.
Uh-huh.
And through donations, through raising funds through a GoFundMe, all of these people that were contributing all raised money for the children of that hospital. And man, it was such a great feeling after the run was over, and presenting this check and
Oh my
giving
gosh.
these children these toys, and
And how
just
much money was it?
it was approximately about 5 grand.
That's
And
impressive. Yeah.
yeah, and then plus people had donated fire sticks for each of the rooms there in
Uh-huh.
the hospital, and they had donated iPads for the
Wow.
children.
Oh,
And
that's so
yeah,
nice.
oh yeah, no, it was. And then tons and tons of toys that were just
Oh,
donated.
that's so nice.
So oh yeah, again, I couldn't swallow the big lump in my throat. It was like, oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah,
yeah,
no, I'd be the
here
same
comes the
way.
Waterworks. So uh uh having that.
Something in my eye.
Yeah, no, who's cutting onions here, basically.
Yes.
And so with that, I said, I need to do another one. I need to do another big run. I need to give back, because that was the one thing that my good friend Roy Orozco had taught me. He taught me, hey man, it's all about giving back to the community. It's all about using whatever talent you have, whatever you can do, and do it for others that can't,
Yeah.
and or need the help. And
Mhm.
so I took that advice from him, and I just ran with it literally. And
Literally.
yeah. And so my next big run was from San Antonio to the Valley. Again, I coordinated with my wife, with some friends, and I said,
In
"Hey,
the
this
RV.
is, yeah, no, this time I said, you know what? Let's run from here to a hotel. Basically, let's do hotels
Creative
here."
dummy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nah. And so okay, yeah, let's do that. So uh,
And how long ago was this?
this was back in 2000. So during the pandemic, during the whole
2020, you mean?
yes, during
Okay.
2020. Yeah. So it was December of 2020,
Wow.
and all these races were all shut down. Nobody was running. No,
Yep.
the running community had the
Critical.
numbers were just crippling. Yeah, everybody was like sad that they
Sad,
couldn't
I know.
run and do stuff. And I was getting there too. I was like, nah, 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 nah. I need to do this run, and I'm gonna go out there, and I'm gonna throw in some miles. And of course, I wasn't alone the whole time, and I get some running friends with me, and they're like, "Hey, I wanna throw in some,
That's cool. How many
come
miles
in."
was that?
That was 273 miles. And
Okay. And
so,
how long
yeah,
did that take you?
that one took me 4 days. Yeah,
Okay,
4 days
that's still incredibly impressive.
of running. And so
Wow.
I,
So
um,
did you have like law enforcement or anything like that that would sort of make sure you weren't getting hit?
oh
Like
yeah,
that?
no. So I had two really good friends down in the valley who were gonna go ahead and coordinate, try to get me some escorts and all this good stuff. But as I was going towards the valley, I knew that once I got to Hidalgo County, which is down in the
The
Edinburgh, and
southern tip of Texas.
yeah, right in the tip. I knew that once I got there, I was gonna be good. I was gonna have all sorts of
So
people
did you
with
run
me.
281 or how did you go? Did you go back roads or how did
Yeah,
you
I went
get
all through the back roads.
that? Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't want to run 281.
No,
Ugh.
no, no, forget about it. So yeah, I ended up going towards Poteet,
Okay.
and I went through Freer
Mhm.
and Hebronville, La Gloria,
Oh
um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, San Isidro, and then right into 281, which I ended
Edinburgh
up
and all that. Yeah.
Edinburgh, and then cutting right down the middle.
Yeah.
Um, I I had unexpected escorts. I was running at night, and here's my wife in a big van, because that's I ended up
I love her.
downsizing. Yeah, downsizing from an
RV.
RV to
Yeah.
a big cargo van. And I told her, I said, just make sure nobody runs me over. So she's driving right behind me,
Were
and
you wearing a reflective vest or
oh
anything?
yeah, no, I look like a
Yeah.
Christmas tree out there.
Don't try
And
this at
so,
home, kids. Yeah.
no, 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 no. This is for the extreme guy and girl. Uh, and so I'm out there. Well, then all of a sudden, here comes these the patrol lights come on, and and of course my wife, she's like, nah, I ain't stopping. I'm barely going 5 miles an hour here, and why are you stopping me? So she's like, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Just stop, pull over. And of course I stopped, and of course here comes the patrolman, and he's like, what are you doing, man? And I said, oh, and of course on my van I had this big old poster board and banner that of what I was doing. And
Yeah.
so he reads the banner, and he says, "Oh, hey man, that's cool, dude." He says, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you an escort out of Coast County." So he
My
ended up,
God, that's great.
yeah. So his lights were right behind us, and he was just escorting us out of Atascosa, and then it just started leapfrogging after that. We'd we'd be running, into another little town of which one was it? I think it was Freer, or
Uh-huh.
no, I'm sorry, it was Hebronville. And
Oh, yeah, of
again,
course.
they came by and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just running, going down to the valley." And they're
I'm
like,
just a little.
"Yeah, not well." And so they would go ahead and escort us into town. And
That's so cool.
oh yeah, forget about it. And then once once I got to uh Hidalgo County, and there was a trooper, there was a state trooper,
Mhm.
and he says, "Hey, you Ben?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Okay, I'm here to escort you into town." I was like,
Like, ah,
"What?" I was like, "Man, I got a trooper with me. Shoot,
that's so
man,
cool.
let's
So they
do
must have
this."
been
So,
talking about you.
oh yeah. So by the time I know it, the word had gotten out that I was coming into
This
town.
crazy guy.
Yeah, and I was running for this organization called the COPS, which is the Concerns of Police Survivors, which is a nonprofit organization that takes care of the spouses of fallen officers. So,
That's
and
great.
not just the spouses, but the
Children.
family members, the coworkers,
Mhm.
anybody that was closely related to this one officer that died in the line of duty. They just embrace them, and they just overwhelmingly take care of them in
That's
anything
what a
and
great
everything.
cause. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I learned about them, and I was like, yeah, this is the organization I want to help out. So I ended up pouring everything into it and telling them, hey, this is where I want to do, and this is where I want to go, and all this other good stuff. And they were like, we're usually just running 5Ks. Are you sure you want to do this? This is
What do you
too
mean
much.
5K?
Yeah, I was like, 5K. Come on,
I got your
man.
5K.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those up, kind of
Yeah.
deal. And so I said, nah, let's do this. So they said okay, and they got right behind it. By the time I knew it, they had also coordinated with folks down in the valley. And if you ever go to my page of I'm Ben and I'm running with you, my background is a parade of law enforcement cars,
Oh,
front
cool.
and back, that I had running into town. So by
That's
the
so cool.
so by the time I got to Edinburgh, I had sheriff's department, I had state troopers, all just convoying right behind me. And I said, man, and by then, I was tired. I was already, yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah. And I was like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to go fast, but they're like, dude,
You're doing
it's okay.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're already 200 plus in, man. Just,
In 4 days. That's
yeah.
incredible. Yeah.
And he says, they were all telling me, hey, you just do you, man. We got you from here. And so, sure enough, by the time I got too far, man, I had motorcycle cops. I had all these convoy of police officers. And here I thought, man, I'm just gonna have a cop or two, following me along.
It's like a
Nah, these
parade.
for real, man. They were blocking streets for me, and I thought I was gonna take a break at a crosswalk. Nah, it was like, go,
Gotta
bro,
keep
go.
going.
Yeah, you gotta keep going. I was like, oh man.
Oh my
And
God,
of
that's so
course,
funny.
and it's a running joke that I always miscalculate my mileage. So I had originally had said that it was 263 miles to my destination, and my destination was going to be in San Juan, which was this park that's called Liberty Park. And real quick
Okay.
backstory: Liberty Park was the spot of my grandfather's gas station.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, so they made a little park
Oh,
in
that's so
that area.
cool.
So I was like, I want to run right there to
Oh
that
yeah.
park. And so um and when I mapped it out and did all my good stuff, I was like, oh, 263 miles. Okay, let's do this. All right. Well, I got to 263 miles, and I was 11 miles short. And I was
Oh
like,
no.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was like, eh, all right.
Really? Can I get a ride?
Yeah, no kidding. I was like, oh man. So they're like,
Oh,
Chihuahuas, Ben, you
yeah,
you
no kidding.
you miscalculated. No wonder you never passed math. I was like, hey, I'm a police
I'm right
officer
there with
for a
you. I
reason. Yeah, I
get it.
don't need math right now.
Oh
So
man.
so yeah, so they the ended up escorting me all the way into San Juan. I
Oh, that's
had a
great.
bunch of folks with me. It was such a great cause. Ended up raising that one. Man, I was so proud of everyone that had contributed, everybody that had donated. It was we ended up giving a check of $10,000
Oh
to the
goodness. I was going
organization.
to ask you about how much you raised. My gosh, that's great.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that
Wow.
was really really awesome. Everybody kind of was
Once you
uh
recovered, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
the
after a
rest.
while, yeah. So then they said, hey, we want to go ahead and give this. I want to give this to this organization. The chairman of the organization was there, and I presented the check to him, and I was like, man, this is everything from everybody that donated, and he was in tears, I was in tears, the people that were there were in tears. We were like, yes,
Oh my
this
God.
is a
That's
good,
so
this was a good thing, so
it's amazing.
yeah. And that year, the 2021, they ended up sending like 5 families on these um, conferences that they host,
Mhm.
and they were able to, the families didn't have to pay a thing because of the
Oh my God.
contribution.
That's nice. Oh, that's so
So
good.
yeah, oh yeah,
Wow.
it was a good feeling. So, um, and then just not too long ago in October of last year, I ended up doing another run. This one was from the border of Oklahoma into downtown Dallas,
Okay.
and it's normally the Red River Relay. Uh,
Okay.
hosted by the folks that put on the Texas Independence Relay, that starts in Gonzales, Texas, all the way into Houston, into
Okay.
the San Jacinto Monument. So anyway, so they host this Red River Relay, and I told them, I wanted to run this, and I ended up running that run as well. That one was a little shorter, as 170 miles
Only.
only, yeah.
That's so
and
cool.
and I ended up helping raise money for a organization called Warrior's Heart, which is a organization that is strictly and solemnly for veterans and law enforcement, firefighters, EMS. So these are folks that are struggling with PTSD, struggling
Mhm.
with depression, struggling with um, um, substance abuse, any type of alcoholism or anything like that.
Mhm.
These folks are just only for these type of folks, and when I started reading about them, when I started doing my research about them, I was like really really happy to know that they were just right up the road
Yeah.
from here. And so and they're the only ones in the United States right now that cater for this only group of folks. So you're not in a setting as a police officer. You're not in a setting of some um, poor person that's over here, dealing with their own issues, that really has no idea what a law enforcement officer goes through, or an
Mhm.
EMT, or a firefighter, or a military veteran. And all of these guys and gals that are there, they all can relate to each other, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of a good sense of, hey, where I'm coming from, and I know
Like
where
a
you're coming
community
from.
or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
So, and they're not afraid to open up because,
That's
they're
great.
they're they're amongst their peers basically. So
That's
that's why I ended up raising money for these for this organization, and then ended up raising 3,700 for them.
oh my God.
And
That's
so
really good. I mean, especially in these times trying to raise money because it's really hard,
yes, no, man.
So,
I am so happy of my the people who follow me, and people who get the word out and say, you know what, man, follow this crazy dude. He he does this
you're not
crazy
crazy.
runs. Yeah, follow these crazy
You're just a little
runs.
wacky, but yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, little off, and
Oh my God.
they go ahead and they just want to see where the story unfolds,
Oh yeah,
and
of
usually,
course.
I'm out there and I'm running, and I go live on my Facebook page,
Sure.
telling them how things are going, and what what's happening, and what's happening with me, and how things are how things are going.
That was my
Love the
cat.
cat. He does cameos.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Uh,
Well, I
it's
have an organization for you for next year, just in case
okay.
you're looking for something. I
Yeah.
just came off of doing something called the Snowdrop Foundation, which is out of,
Yes.
have you heard of that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know Jean. I forget her last name. She has a cool last name. It starts with an H.
Cummings Perez? No,
No, Jean. She's gonna go ahead and write to me. She's gonna
I
be
don't
like,
know who
"What?"
it is.
Yeah,
Right.
she's really involved in the Snowdrop. Or
Yes. Well, I have, yeah, I did, well, I tried the 100 miler about 3 or 4 years ago and ended up with 100K, which, wasn't bad,
nice.
but,
Hey,
still, bleh. I
yeah.
just couldn't wrap my head around the whole idea because I had never really gone that far. But I've done the relay a couple of times since, and I just did it this year, or, going into this year. And so much fun. Actually, Daniel's parents both did the 100 milers at Snowdrop this past year. And yeah, children's cancer research and scholarships for cancer survivors. So anyways, you're
Nice.
looking for something that doesn't involve a SAG. They give you
Yeah.
meals at mealtime
Oh,
and
forget about it. I love that.
yeah. And I mean, it's like decent food. Like we got like what was it? It was like Chewy's and Rudy's Barbecue and Chick-fil-A and yeah, just
Oh
pizza,
wow.
yeah, pasta. Yeah, I mean, it's
Nice.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. And you can also sleep if you need to. So like, I
Sweet.
mean, for me, because I was like, I did 6 hours of a relay. So I did like what, Thursday, 2 hours, Friday, noon to 2, which was really hot. Because
Mm.
remember it's like in the 80s, yeah.
Oh
And then
yeah.
I did 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. on New Year's Day. And yeah, but it was really cool. It was I don't know, I think I'm more cut up for that thing, for the relay. But yeah, it was just as you were talking about this, I'm like, oh, this might be something you should think about for the next time. So
Yeah.
if there is
Oh
a next
yes. Oh, there.
time.
As long as my legs are still carrying me around, I'll
I
definitely
know.
be throwing some.
So do you have a plan for the next time or you're still open?
Still looking out. Still trying to see, maybe getting into a race this time. That way, I don't have to be taxing people following me around, and because it's I tell most people, the uh, doing these type of runs, it kind of takes a certain group to also crew a
It
crazy
takes a
individual like me.
village.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
I get that.
And
And you're
so,
lucky to have
oh
so
yeah,
many
forget
people
about it.
devoted to you. And yeah, no, I mean, I think that's incredible. So have you ever done normal races like where you just go out and run like 50K or something
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, no.
okay, okay. Just
So my first ultra, because I didn't even know what an ultra was. I had run a couple of marathons. I had done half marathons, and tons of 5Ks, and of course, when I was approached with the idea of an ultra marathon, I was like, what's that? How fun is that?
yeah.
Who, how do I get involved in that? And my first one was in habanero
Oh,
100.
God,
Yeah,
that
yeah, I
was
went.
so dumb. What
Yeah,
are you
I went
doing?
with the most ridiculous one
It's like the
there
dumbest race ever. So sand and you're starting at
is.
noon.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no,
what?
no, no, nothing easy. No, I don't want it. I don't want anything easy. No, yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean, I did like a 30K out there like a year ago, November, but you know, because they had delayed it, you know, and I mean, that ranch is horrible. I mean, it's like
oh
all that
yeah,
sand. I was still dumping sand out of my shoes like 2 weeks later at another race.
I ended up tossing those shoes. I was like, forget about these. These things are done. They're done, man.
Oh
I,
my God. Yeah, you should.
yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm
yeah,
more of a Tejas Trails person, so they've got a few self-supported ones. There's one in October called Cactus Rose, which is out at Hill Country State Natural Area, which is a lot of rocks and hills and stuff like that. And then they also have something called Tinajas, which is out at Colorado Bend State Park, not too far from Lampasas. You know, it's like near Colleen and all that. So I call that one
nice,
Satan's driveway. I can't stand those rocks, but anyway,
yeah,
sorry. Blabbering.
nice.
Um, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So what is your next race or event or anything, or do you have anything?
I don't have anything right now. Nothing really scheduled. Nothing that I'm looking forward to. I'm still running, still training. Like if I am, I kind of have this mentality of always being ready. You know, if a race does pop up, like somebody tells me, hey, you know, there's might be one in February, I'll be like, well, shoot, yeah, I think I can crank out a 100K or something, you know. And
Lucky Raccoon in Huntsville. So
yeah, I know. Well, I did that one.
did
Uh,
you? I
yeah,
love that place.
that was my second 100 miler
Oh my gosh.
out
Yeah.
there.
Well, I'm doing the 50K. It's on my birthday this year. So yeah, so I'm doing
Nice, nice.
that. But yeah, that's a great place. But
Oh yeah, it gets cold, and
well, it can get cold. I mean, I think I did the 50K probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was hot.
oh
And yeah, and there's this poor guy from Colorado who was he was doing the 50 miler and he was dying. And I'm like,
yeah.
why are you dying? This is like nothing, you know? And he's like, it's the heat. I'm just like, okay, dude. And he didn't have any hair. So I was like, okay,
Ouch.
put ice in your ball cap when you get to the aid station and that will save you. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay. And I saw him later and he's like, thank you. Oh God, it's so
Ah,
funny. But anyway,
yeah.
so we are going on more than an hour, and usually I mean, no, and it's fine. This has been incredibly interesting, and I love talking to you. However, is there anything else that I haven't, you haven't mentioned that you wanted to talk about? Because I know you've hit on like the things that you mentioned in your message to me, which I was, and I'm so grateful that Kenny told me about you. Because he
Yeah.
sent me a message a few weeks ago and said, yeah, you need to talk to this guy. And I was like, I'll do that. Yeah. So
Uh,
I'm always looking for interesting people. So, um, but is there
awesome.
anything else that you would like
N-
to mention?
No, no, no. I just you know, I really enjoy this sport of running. I want to encourage as many people as possible to go ahead and at least, you know, if you can't even run, or you know, everybody can walk, everybody
You can run,
can,
hike. That's what I do.
yeah, run, hike, and exactly, just being out there, out in the in nature, and just enjoying yourselves, and having that time with one, um just freeing your mind, unplugging, just getting away, doing something that's going to be good for yourself, both mentally, spiritually, and healthy.
Yeah, it kind of
So
takes you out of your head too. And I think
right.
that's what I love about it, because it's, sometimes I have a tendency to live in my head. And so, and I
Yeah,
think because of the pandemic,
yeah,
teaching online and stuff like that, it was just like, oh my God, I can't stand this, and like being able to go out for a run was like, yeah,
yeah.
and I'm
Very
incredibly happy
therapeutic.
because this semester I'm finally back in person with all my classes. So it's like,
Nice. Yes.
but
No, very, very therapeutic. I encourage anyone and everybody to just go out there and just enjoy lace up and just go out for a walk. And by the time you know it, you'll probably be out there running. And
exactly.
yeah,
And
and then just challenging yourself. I don't really, tell people, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Nah, just do what's comfortable for you,
exactly.
basically.
No, and I think
So
that's a really good piece of advice, because I think a lot of people get incredibly intimidated or whatever. They're like, oh my God, I'm not, I know in my case, because, again, my podcast is called The Stubborn Tortoise. And so I'm
nice.
always like, oh God, I'm not fast enough, blah, blah, blah. But, I'm kind of like, okay, at least I'm out there. I'm like, off the couch, I'm doing
Yeah,
something, so who cares,
right. Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
anyway, so all right. Well, Ben, thank you so much. It was so lovely talking to you. I'm going to stop recording real quick. Hang loose. All right. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And yeah, so this week I am featuring, God, I'm really hoping this goes well. Cat. My cat is really annoying today. But I'm hoping that you can see the new video intro that I edited together the other day with the music, and it's kind of fun. But anyway, yes, as far as I'm concerned, other than having one of the most annoying cats on the planet right now, P, who cries all the time, I just want to tell you that yeah, the weekend running was kind of sparse because I started teaching again for the semester, and I'm doing in person. It was just a really crazy, hectic week. And Hundo's son moved in a week ago today, which is Saturday, and that's going fine. And he does his thing, I do mine. We share dinners sometimes, and he's not much of a runner, so that's okay. But he does go to the gym every day for a couple hours. So I was like, yeah, you go. And I've also been introducing him to new foods, Brussels sprouts, and I forget what else gorgonzola, gorgonzola cheese, I think last Sunday. Um, he was a sport about it. And then last night he made pasta. Which night was that? The night that I teach long. Oh, Tuesday. Yeah. And which was quite good. And yeah, and then last night, Friday night, I made burgers and air fryer fries with Italian seasoning and garlic. Well, it's like this mix that HEB sells. But anyway, um, made that stuff in the air fryer. We were both just like, okay, we're gonna clean this up. This is amazing. And yeah. And I did my longish run today. I did about 7 miles, ran with my friend Jessica. Um, and yeah, I ran over at McAllister Park. Oh my God. It is, as you can tell, I'm dressed sort of like for winter. Yeah, it's really, really windy here in San Antonio and probably Texas in general. But yeah, so we got this weird front. I mean, yesterday was probably like close to 80 degrees. And then, of course, like Texas, being Texas, it's like we ended up with this front coming through, and it's been like in the 50s, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's more like in the 30s, like upper 30s with the wind. I mean, we've had like 50-mile-an-hour winds, and yeah, so that's been insane. And yeah, so I ran 4 yesterday, I ran almost 7 today. I'm gonna probably run about 8 tomorrow, and then another 5, I guess, on Monday. you know, trying to somehow get myself ready for the Rocky Raccoon 50K. And I think I'm ready. I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, listen, if I've already done, you know, 28 and a half in December, and then I did another 25, 26, you know, at the end of December, I think I'll be okay. I mean, it may not be pretty, but you know, I'll finish. And so that's all I really care about at this point. So yeah, and I don't know. I'm still debating about whether or not I want to do another 50K soon. I mean, I love 50Ks. 50Ks are like my jam. I love that. I love that distance, but it's also sort of like, you know, do I want to, I mean, if I can do it like on a flat distance, then I'm cool. But if I have to do it like on something rocky and hilly, forget it. You know, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, stay tuned. Trying to think what else. Anyway, yeah. So the I started running again today with the Saturday with the San Antonio off-road runners, and Agatha, my friend Agatha Kerr, is the lead coach, if you will. And yeah, and we've got a bunch of really awesome people out there. And yeah, we braved that nutty wind today, and it's still blowing around like crazy. I'm hoping it will die down overnight, because oh, it's a lot. It's a lot of wind. But anyway, so stay tuned. I'm not sure what's up for next week. We might do a Paz and Hundo. It may just be me. It may be a master's edition. I'm not really sure. Who knows? Anyway, that's all I've got for now. See you next time.